Okay, here's a look at the figures produced by NewAge in 2022. And at first glance, when you look at all of these, they look really nice. Very impressive for legend scale figures, which is why these are called like mini masterpiece. So what I want to do is just go over each one as briefly as I can and just share some of my thoughts and opinions, and then from there I'm gonna pick my top 3 figures by NewAge in 2022. So you can see all of these are really nice. And I want to let you know the reason why I'm not comparing this with Magic Square as best legends is because you know, they're pretty close, and so once I start comparing the two, it starts becoming into a versus. It's just gonna go back and forth. So here I'm just trying to pick the best 3 from NewAge, and I'll probably do that with Magic Square. But start off with their first figure was Optimus Prime, or David. So you can see, like all of their NewAge figures, it has a nice paint finish, and quality of plastic is really nice. But some of the issues that I have, I think most of the time it has to do with the fact that they tried to make the figure so small. So if you can see like the little pins and being exposed there, that doesn't really look too good. And here the shins, I think they sculpted that in a little bit too deep because it's just too prominent. But you know, it's really impressive for how small this figure is. And the biggest issue, like everyone already knows, is his double chest right there. That really doesn't look too good. I mean, you get used to it after a while, but just knowing that this is how they designed it, yeah, that's not too good. So like I said with Magic Square, I don't want to compare it because it becomes a versus, but I will just point out Magic Square's version of Optimus Prime, their 2.0, definitely is better than this. But this is still a nice figure for what it is and for the size. Then moving on after that, there was their Beachcomber. This one, I like this little dude. I mean, he's cartoon accurate. I mean, it's such a small figure, and look at how they even sculpted the head so nicely for such a small figure. And you know, there's really no issues I have with this one. I mean, transformation is fun and easy. And I'll just point out Magic Square. This NewAge version of Beachcomber totally blows away Magic Square's. But in all fairness, Magic Square's Beachcomber was one of their earlier releases, so just have to be fair and point that out. But this is really a great figure. Then their Cyclonus. Okay, I have to tell you, when I saw this, I had to get it just because it just looks so awesome. I mean, this looks like a mini masterpiece Fans Toys with the paint finish, all the detail you can see here, the transparent yellow right there. This is, yeah, that's why I had to get it, because this is so awesome. And there's really no issues other than it is a parts former with the hands. You do have to remove the hands to transform it, which is a little scary because if you misplace that hand, you could lose it. But that's the consequence of making a figure so small like this. But just looking at it, I mean, look at that. That looks like a mini Fans Toys Cyclonus. That's a great figure. And just for the heck of it, let me show you the Galvatron. He goes really nice with the Galvatron. So that's awesome. And I'm really hoping and looking forward to their Scourge and Sweeps. Hopefully it's going to be the same quality as these two guys. But that's the Cyclonus, and it's a really, really nice figure. Then Ymir or Grimlock. This is a nice figure. First of all, it's, you know, unusual that they made this bigger than what they usually make. Just to point that out, he's a little bit too big next to Optimus, you know, from that scene in the cartoon. I think he's just a little bit too big. But aside from that, I can't nitpick here, but this yellow, it's cartoon accurate. It's just, for me, something about it just feels like it should have like a hint of gold or something, like the toy. But yeah, this is a nice figure in terms of transformation and stuff. I mean, the head sculpt, they did a really nice job. My issue is the paint. I think the head, the thighs, and the hands should have been a dark gray, not a black, because it's just too dark in my opinion. And the bigger issue actually is right there, the inside, all that junk. Normally those things don't bother me, but this one's a little too excessive, where it looks like it's mistransformed. So that's one of the big issues I have with this. But the sculpt, the design, the engineering, plastic, all that, it's good. Just nitpicky things. The head is a little bit too dark, and the inner legs there is a little unpleasant. Then next, Arcee. This is really an awesome figure. I mean, first of all, look at how small this is, and look at the proportions. Really nice, better than the Takata Masterpiece. They even, for something so small, they put in all that detail there. This is very cartoon accurate with the white feet and the gray ankles. And once you get her positioned right, look at that. Even with that backpack, she stands really nice. So this is really an awesome figure. I really love this figure. Only issue is just it is a parts former with those hands. Like I said, when you take them off, if you're not careful, you might misplace it and lose it. And also the transformation, you know, it's not hard, it's just a little challenging. You just have to know what you're doing. At least it's not like X-Transbots where, you know, if you're not careful and you might break it. This one, I have no worries with that. But this, again, is really nice. I mean, even that head sculpt is so beautiful. The chest and everything. So this is a great figure. Then there is the Skyfire. And this one, before Magic Square came out, I have to tell you, I was so impressed with this. You know, this is very cartoon accurate, the quality of the plastic, the paint finish, you know, the shins right there, that didn't really bother me because they put in all the cartoon accurate detail there. But, you know, this is not without some little issues here and there. I don't like the transformation of this red jetpack. Little things. I mean, like even the landing wheels that are not painted black, they're not functional. for a bigger figure than Magic Square. I mean, I can go on and on, but I don't want to do that. Just pointing out, this one does have some issues, but it is another nice figure by NewAge. And then their Inferno. This is like a mini masterpiece. I mean, look at that head. Very accurate to the cartoon. The sirens, the paint finish, the quality of the plastic. I mean, even those support stabilizers there, the white hose, the white shoulders, the white fans on his head. This is very cartoon accurate. And plus the fact that you could tuck in that ladder to be more cartoon accurate, this is really an impressive figure. And again, I don't like doing this versus, but this is way better than Magic Squares. I mean, I already did my verses there, so I don't need to say anything. The only issue I have is just the window. The transparent blue window's nice. They just went a little too light. But yeah, this is a great figure. Then the Alita one. This is probably the figure I am most disappointed with. I mean, this is a cheap cop-out, just trying to sell more of their molds, their Arcee mold. They did very minimal retooling. They did a nice retooling of the head. That head looks really nice, which is what sold me on it, but the details of the chest, so not accurate to the cartoon. She doesn't have those Arcee collar. I mean, yeah, they would have had to retooled it a little bit. I mean, even the leg detail, but they didn't. They just went straight up like repaint and just retooled the head basically. So that's why this is a real disappointment. And I take responsibility because I knew all of that before I got it. I just had to get it because I wanted it to go with Optimus here. So that looks okay. Unless you start looking at all the details to see the inaccuracies. And then last, they came out with their Grapple. Just like Inferno, this is really another great figure. All the details, including the back, the transformations, fun, simple, easy. You know, it's just they went the opposite extreme with the window. Now it's too dark. I can't even tell if that's blue or black. They just went too dark. So yeah, that's a bummer for me right there. But that's just a quick look, as I can make it, of all the figures by NewAge in 2022. And so now my top 3. Number 3 is going to go to Arcee. I mean, she can easily be number 2 or number 1, but I'm just saying that just because of the parts former there. That really scares me. And the transformation, you know, it's just a little complicated. It's just not worrisome like X-Transbot. So just wanted to point out that's my reasoning for that. But it's a great figure. So she gets number 3. And number 2 is going to go to Inferno, because this is really a great figure. I mean, even in the vehicle mold, how you could rotate the ladder, something the Masterpiece doesn't do. It's just that window should have been darker. That's all. So that's my number 2 pick. And now my number 1 pick, which is probably going to be a surprise, is going to go down to this little dude down here, which is Beachcomber, because this guy, he looks a lot like the cartoon, and they sculpted it really well. All the detail, fun transformation. Yeah, this is really a great figure. And that's not to say these other figures are not as good. They just have little issues here and there, and that affect my opinion on them. So there is no right or wrong. It's just, this is my opinion and based on my preference. So that's a look at the figures by NewAge in 2022 and my top 3 picks.